Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sportcat Daily Gazette. Sorry, I'm running a few minutes behind, but I had some things I had to deal with real quick. First thing I want to do is I want to thank you, Ross, at Yerg's Radio and Mastiff Media. We're live on Yerg's Radio. You can find them at yergsradio.com, and we're also live on Rainbow Radio. You will find us on Radio X in Australia. Sorry, drawing a blank there for some reason. You'll find us live on Radio X for the next hour. And we're also on, I'm going to draw another blank, the Pineland FM radio station, Talk FM. We're live, Pine Island FM radio station in Florida. So welcome. We appreciate you guys and gals. First thing I want to do, I promise this is a trailer, and for those of you who are not watching us live, you can come over and find us at the Paranormal Guys, 3 words with a Z, and search us out, or find the YouTube channel through the Sportcat shows. Either way, come join the chat. And for everybody on all the audio networks only, I'm going to show a little trailer here the girls sent me last night. That is the trailer for next Monday night. No, for this, well, I guess it's the Monday night coming up, if all goes well. Hello, Soul. Welcome to the channel. Hello, Chris. We're glad you're here. Wendell, as always, good to see you as well. Glad you all are in the chat. The Monday night show is called Horrors. Well, I just missed the name of the show. It's about horrors. My 2 girls, 2 of my mini ladies, Amanda and Cheyenne, are doing a show on all things horror movies, horror fests, horror themes, just horror. I don't know. It's not my cup of tea, but I told the girls, I said, hey, I want you to take this show and I want you to run with it. Because this is you. This is what you all like. This is something you are passionate about, much as I'm passionate about the Bigfoot topic, and they tolerate my shenanigans. So much so, my wife even bought me a little crystal squatch. I keep here on my desk. I'm surrounded by more squatches on my desk than I know what to do with. My grandson comes in and he goes, squatch, squatch, squatch. So yeah, I've got them all over the place. And I also have a challenge coin that I made. Wendell has one. That I send out as gifts. They're also available for sale. It's our Paranormal Guys challenge coin that you can get. So yeah, there's that too. So yeah, I got all kinds of cool things floating around here on my desk. So yeah, I think Wendell was the first fan, I believe, to get one of those. Wendell, give yourself a pat on the back. Chris, message me and I will hook you up as well. Oh, all right, everybody. What all have we got to go over? Man, a lot is going on in the world in the past 24 hours. You'd think our president went out and had a big address or something, huh? We'll bring up FEMA actually got back together with, well, I pushed the wrong button there. FEMA actually got together and did their FEMA brief. And so we got that, and we'll bring that up. And let's see, share screen. Yes, I want to share the screen and the entire screen. Yep. All right. And let's see, before we get into that, let's also bring up, like I said, a whole lot's happened in the past 24 hours. You would think there was some kind of big presidential address or something here in the United States. And, well, there was. But first, let's show you something. If you don't think that we're being organized against, when I say we, the American people, if you don't think there's some kind of revolution, watch this video and tell me otherwise.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
Not true. That's what you just
The senators reciting the same speech, word for word. If you don't think America is under siege, then you're sadly mistaken. This is our senators. Where am I? I'm on this screen somewhere. Where am I? This is our elected Democrat senators, all reciting a speech, holding a little tiny mic, trying to look like it was relaxed, done at their whim. If you don't think America's under attack, you're sadly mistaken. There's a coup going on, and they're trying to overtake our country. So if you don't think that this was an organized attack, then you've lost your mind. Sorry. That's the truth. All right, so there was that came out, and they dropped that yesterday before the president's speech, trying to upscale him, somehow forgetting that social media and the media of the world wasn't going to catch that. I actually caught that on mainstream media. That is something you don't see. Yeah. Why? Can't we all just get along? And then I don't usually play these type of clips, but I'm going to play this clip because I didn't used to agree with this commentator, but I'm beginning more and more to like him. This is Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Smith was in the polls as a presidential candidate. You see what I'm talking about? You see that idiocy right there? You talk about something, people being tone deaf. Why the hell would 22 Democratic senators be literally echoing the same thing and think that would resonate with the American people? All it shows is that the same fabric of our democracy is unchanging in the eyes of some of these officials, and as a result, the constituency they represent, which is why Donald Trump is in office. What, do I have to come up to Capitol Hill and give you lessons? Seriously, you don't get it? All you did, Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Chuck Schumer. Let's all get together. Let's put this in a prompter, and all together, albeit in separate rooms, we'll grab a microphone and say the same damn thing. And that's what's going to resonate with the American people. And then you wonder why you're no longer in power. You wonder why Trump is in the White House.
I couldn't agree more. And that was Stephen A. Smith, well-known ESPN color analyst, and couldn't have said it better. And he is a Democrat. So, yeah. All right. So, like I said, Ross, if he hasn't canceled my show already, we try not to get too political, but sometimes when the president of the country speaks, you sometimes got to show things. So that was just too great not to show. I used to didn't. Boy, I'm showing my Southernism. I, at one point in time, did not like Stephen A. Smith. I'm not really one for these color play people that yell and scream. If you start yelling and name calling, no matter what, sports, politics, whatever, you're tuned out. Change channel, gone. So I don't normally go for that, even though he does heckle the Dallas Cowboys, which I am there for every moment of that. But he has actually, him and you're probably not going to believe this, Como on News Nation, I have really gained new respect for him. So All right. So this was trending on X, and a lot of people want to see it. It's the moment that we made history.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the sergeant at arms to restore order.
Yes, let's have order.
This gentleman from the chamber.
Bye-bye. You're older than the damn Constitution. You probably haven't done a damn thing. Get out. He made history. Democrat Al Green made history by being thrown out of Congress, one of the elected officials. We're trying to unite, and this is what we get. I agree. I do like the other Al Green a whole lot better. And the sad part was, the Democrats had even called prior to this, even went out on mainstream media and said, don't do anything. Sit there, hold your little signs, whatever. Don't do anything. They can't contain themselves. They are so upset from being out of power. And it's a shame for our country. And when I say our country, the United States, all of us, Republican, Democrats, librarians, every one of them. He is pointing his gold cane at the Republicans, telling them they were the ones out of order. I get it's a demonstration, it's a protest, but whatever.
You know, I know you did talk to the First Lady.
From Fox News.
You have not spoken to the president directly. He, I think, is watching right now. What would you like to say to Donald Trump?
I'd like to say thank you to him, and I hope he got his cowboy hat, because I bought him a brown one from Texas, but I'm not sure if they got it out the thing that where they check it, because the dog had to sniff it and stuff like that.
I got a feeling after you just said that, they're going to make sure that he gets it. And listen, the whole world watched you last night, and we're praying for you during your treatment. And we were all crying. Were you crying, DJ? Or Dad?
Not at all.
Not at all? Holy cow.
Dad didn't answer that question. I was crying. I'll be honest. You have a 13-year-old boy. At first, I thought he was an explorer. He was wearing a police uniform. He is not. He was a sworn honorary police officer, and he has been sworn as and deputized and made a police agent in many agencies. He's 13. He's battled cancer almost his entire life. He's survived. He's beat the odds. He's been sick. He has been through hell. I have transported these patients. I have seen these patients. These kids have resiliency and fight that none of those damn Democrats who kept sitting and were so disrespectful will ever have the balls to face. So he was made a honorary Secret Service agent last night. And if that didn't grab your heart and make you cry, nothing will. But apparently the Democrats, it didn't bother them one damn bit. They decided to keep their ass sitting and not applaud and cheer. So remember that. Remember that. Remember those same Democrats who didn't vote for the Lake and Raleigh Act. Remember that. Okay. I'm off my political soapbox. Probably kicked off Yerg's Radio, but hey. All right, we're going to get back to my wheelhouse. Like I said, we had to address certain things because, well, they were trending on X and Google, and everybody wants to know. And as always, this show is for entertainment purposes only. These are my opinions expressed as Glenn Sportcat Jackson, and, well, it is what it is. So I apologize if you disagree. You're welcome to. I encourage it. All right. So we're going to get into the daily briefing from FEMA. It's dated Wednesday, March 5th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the national current operations that they are monitoring: severe weather in the southern U.S., and then heavy snow in the Great Basin, Mississippi Valley, and severe thunderstorms in the mid-Atlantic. They have Chris, I love you, man. Chris says, this damn right, this is entertaining. Please like and subscribe, people. Yes, everybody at Radio X, everybody at Yerg's Radio, Rainbow Radio, please come over. One and all, we love you all. Like, follow, share, and subscribe. The Paranormal Guys with a Z on YouTube. FEMA declarations they had approved for some fires in Texas were the newest declarations. So that's the big things for today. I'm assuming they were probably off yesterday because they had declared a disaster in Washington, D.C. And I almost showed the video. Protesters thought they were going to upscale the speech by blocking the printed route of the limousine travels from the Oval Office or White House. And the White House or the Secret Service, God love them, the ones that made a honorary agent last night, they did a complete fake out. They had a fake motorcade, so much so some of my buddies in the press were even fooled. So yes, good for them. All right, so severe weather in the southern U.S. It's actually not just the southern U.S., it's the Atlantic coast. It's the eastern seaboard. Chris, I think we have. Yes, I think we have. Thank you, Wendell. The severe weather, there was actually, I'll pull it up here in just a minute, there was some significant weather in the Carolinas. I think there were some tornado watches issued. This is going to affect the Carolinas. The heavy rain moved through Atlanta last night around 1 a.m. Luckily, there was just lightning and rain, heavy rain, no severe weather. I think that the energy was tapped out by the time it crossed over the Appalachia, and the temperatures had already started dropping naturally, so it didn't have the energy to produce. But it has fired up today, and it is getting Virginia, probably more the southwest, southeast Virginia, all of pretty much North Carolina and South Carolina, and on the eastern seaboard, they're expecting some severe weather. So everybody there, be weather aware, keep your eyes and ears open. I encourage everybody to have a flashlight and a FEMA radio, or not FEMA radio, but a National Weather Service radio, so you can get alerts. I know everybody's used to having it on their phone, but if for some reason our phones went down, it's good to have that radio. It's good to have a flashlight. And somebody told me a long time ago you should have a hand-cranked flashlight and radio. And I thought they were kind of silly, but I got one to play around with, and they're actually kind of right. You're never going to run out of power. It's going to give you something to do. So, and they're actually not that bad. So just some tips there. And also encourage everybody, if you're not a ham radio operator, go become one and take the National Weather Service's free courses in weather spotting. It may make you a weather expert one day. All right, so the big fire here was the big story was a welder fire, and I believe they're saying that because of the fire name in reference to the community. I don't believe it was started by a welder, but that was the largest fire in Texas. It affected 5.5 thousand. 200 acres burned. It was 0% contained as of 8:30 a.m. And so they are still monitoring and watching that and calling for assistance in San Patricio County, Texas. So everybody in that area, be weather aware. Duke Fire in Bexar County, Texas. It is 150 acres burned as of 8:30 a.m. and only 20% contained. So there's a potential for up to 1,500 residents to be displaced. So, yeah, keep your eyes on that. Chris says the hand-cranked radios are a great idea, best for when the power goes out unexpectedly with no prep time. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. All right, so we're looking at the FEMA. This came straight from NOAA, National Weather Service. There's going to be an Alberta clipper that goes across the top of the country, and Dallas is pretty much from Kentucky, Missouri, Kentucky upwards. It's going to be mixed precipitation over Northeast Virginia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and to Pennsylvania. And then it's going to turn again to snow when it goes through New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. That's going to move across the country. The heavy snow is going to actually continue throughout Thursday in the Northeast section and in the Rocky Mountains, along with the Cascades over in Oregon and California, extending down into New Mexico. I'm sorry, not New Mexico, Utah. And then Friday it's going to grow a little bit because, as we'll see in a bit, the cold front coming down from Canada is going to bring us all into cold temperatures. Hey, Denise, welcome. You missed my rant. Please go back and watch it from earlier. It was funny. Make sure to tell Brenda. She'll get a kick out of it. So that's pretty much the weather forecast for the U.S. for today. Mixed precipitation in Oregon, Idaho, Nevada, California. You're going to get a lot of rain. You need it. Utah, mixed precipitation. It's going to snow up in the Northeast corridor, extending up through the Cascade, through the Adirondacks into Maine. So, and it's going to continue all week. I even heard that Tennessee, Knoxville, may get up to 2 inches of snow. I was just there. What the hell? Couldn't you done this while I was there? I was there and it snowed here in Atlanta. What the hell? All right. So the severe weather that we want to be on the lookout for is today, typically on the Outer Banks, lower Virginia coastline, potential for some significant weather, slightly eastward or westward a bit, and northwestern a little bit above up into Pennsylvania, New York, the tip of New York there. Otherwise, it's going to pretty much be rain. Thursday is going to just bring the rain across the mid-section of the country through the Midwest and keep it there pretty isolated. Friday, there is no indications for any type of precipitation in the States. And no solar events are expected to reach FEMA thresholds at this time. And it says the current solar cycle is predicted to peak between now and mid-2025, but significant activity is still possible well after the peak. And they actually had, remember the other day we showed this and I said it's going to affect pretty much South America down in that area. Well, it was delayed a little bit longer and it actually affected the Pacific, and there were some radio blackouts along the Hawaiian Islands, upwards to Asia and over towards the West Coast. It wasn't a long thing, but it was a significant enough solar storm to cause some radio blackouts. FEMA's current, drop my mouse. FEMA's current common operating procedure. Of course, they have 33 joint offices, 93 plus major disasters, and 9 emergency, 12 direct housing missions. That's probably going to be, if I had to guess, California, North Carolina. It's going to extend into Kentucky, West Virginia with the fires, both Carolinas. So there's a lot of people that need some help. So they are working on those issues at this time, and they're concerned about the significant weather that's going to be affecting us on the East Coast, most specifically. And all right, what is next? Let's see. Nothing really new. Virginia has declared since February 10th they've wanted some help for flooding, severe storms, tornadoes, winter storms. They're going to probably declare some more. Louisiana is still operating under their winter weather problems as far as emergency declarations from way back in January. And we see here nothing new as far as declaration requests. I predict that's going to change, specifically because there's been some large fires that haven't been contained, and with the tornadic activity in the Carolinas, well, throughout the country. So, all right, so that is our FEMA daily briefing, just as the president gets, except he didn't get my opinion. Hopefully he got his hat, though. Speaking of the president, he is in office today, but he has no public events scheduled. There's a 1 o'clock, 1300 East Coast Standard Time. That was 29 minutes ago. press briefing by the White House press secretary. So I'll check that out later, see what we missed. All right. This is our current weather radar in the United States, and it's showing what watches and warnings significantly throughout the southeast, southwest, up into the northeast corridor, almost to the Great Lakes. We have wind advisories from the remnants of this storm, and then we have the extreme weather advisories over on the the Atlantic coast, from pretty much Norfolk down through the Outer Banks, maybe even down as far as maybe just Savannah, barely, if so. But along the top of the country, we were talking about, there's going to be that little skiff of snow that runs across the top of the country, little clipper storm. It's probably going to pick up a little steam. You see the snow, or the storm is getting towards the Great Lakes. It'll probably pick up with the cold front some extra moisture, and it'll probably hammer the northeast again in Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, up in that area. Out on the West Coast, pretty much all of the state of Utah is under a winter weather advisory. The higher elevations in California, what is that called? The Rose corridor in Oregon. What is it, Rose? Man, I should know that. And then, of course, in the Rockies, extending down into Denver, there's some winter weather. And it's red flag warning still in western Texas, and it's going to continue that way. With the wind advisory, we're going to be watching for some storms coming out of that. Let's see. I don't believe. Let's see. We'll track this down here. We'll go down under to our friends. And Alfred is still sitting off of the east coast of Australia, creating some chaos and mayhem. Hey, Shay, welcome. You missed your introduction at the beginning of the show. I showed your trailer and spoke somewhat highly of you. Maybe not too much, just a little. Here in the east coast of Australia, it looks like right around Brisbane, Cyclone Alfred is just kind of sitting there and pissing everybody off, and it's not producing much rainfall outside of probably southwest Brisbane, but the wind is what's been primarily the effect. And I was under the impression this was going to be a faster moving storm, but this cyclone has not. It has just kind of sat there. So I hope everybody down under is safe. And it looks like there's going to be some severe weather on your west coast, and I don't see any tornadic activity over on the west coast of Australia. And I don't have a town name because my geography is not that great. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm still learning, folks. That looks like the only significant weather. Maybe in Queensland, a little bit northwest. Maybe northwest. No, yes, northwest of Queensland, there might be some isolated storms, as well as some to the southeast that are spinning off of the cyclone. So, Chris, I'm becoming more and more meteorologist. I'm sounding more and more like a meteorologist. How long did I work in public safety? It seemed like a lifetime. 35 years. Broome, over in Western Australia, over west of them, they're having some significant weather at this time. So if you're listening in Broome, Derby, coming into Jabari, I'm probably butchering that, and I am sorry. It looks like you have some significant weather coming. It looks like it's pretty much centered now southeast of Derby, moving in a southeasterly direction. Now I have to read a map. No, I can't read maps. We have GPS. What's wrong with you, Shay? Brisbane, it is sitting there on your coast, and it's just spinning and causing a lot of wind and mayhem. We put it in motion. It's still trying to come along the Gold Coast, but it's just sitting there, slowly being a pain in the ass. So stick with it. Hopefully it'll be okay. I'll pull this out a little bit. Mount Isa, that was where we were talking about the other storm on Australia, in Australia. All right, that's pretty much the update for weather. Except, well, no, I'm sorry. When and where will Cyclone Alfred finally make landfall? What we know about the storm's current trajectory. Well, millions of Australians across southeast Queensland and the northern areas are bracing for tropical cyclone Alfred to make landfall in the next 2 days. More than 4 million people from Sandy Cape to Grafton have been warned the storm is expected to strike on Friday now, bringing intense rainfall, dangerous winds, potential flash flooding. So it appears that it will be along the coast at 1 p.m. local time on the 7th, coming inland at about 1 a.m. local time, March 8th. The exact prediction is somewhere there at the Gold Coast around Brisbane. Residents living between the Sunshine and Gold Coast, particularly Brisbane, are forecast to be in the firing line. It did slow Wednesday night, alerting predictions for both its time and arrival, altering its time and arrival. Damage and wind gusts up to 120 kilometers an hour are expected to begin lashing southeastern Queensland and northeastern coast throughout Wednesday. So destructive wind gusts up to 155 kilometers per hour are expected to hit the coast and the islands south of the cyclone's path by late Thursday or early Friday, and extending further inland on Friday. Ocean swells greater than 7 meters have been recorded. So heavy rainfall is expected to cross through the coast and deteriorate into a tropical low, with daily possible totals to 200 to 400 millimeters, which could cause flash flooding. You can track the storm's predicted path on the BOM website, and they regularly host updated maps. All right. And let's see. Hold on. I missed something here in the chat. Wendell, I will not acknowledge until the day is changed back. Wendell says, too bad, I'm only changing my name. What they're referring to is Wendell has changed his name to Bigfoot 911 for his new podcast. He has a podcast. You can check him out on YouTube. There you go. A little plug for you, Wendell. All right. So with this cold front coming down, Chris, you're going to be in the 40s. Depending on what part of the state, you could be in the 30s. The cold front's extending down from Bismarck all the way to Memphis currently, with a low of 33 in Bismarck, 46 in Memphis. Currently, it's 56 in Atlanta, predicted to continue falling with the cold front moving through. And as I said earlier, some parts of the South may get a little bit of that Yankee dandruff. Please stay away. You're welcome, Wendell. Anything for you. Your friend. 73, Wendell. We need to go down and visit Ross. That's what we need to do. See if there's any. We'll investigate Skunk Ape and stay down there in the warm 80s. How about that? If you're lucky enough to be out on the Keys, you're going to be in the 80s. If I only had a couple $1 million to buy a 300 square foot efficiency in Key West. Believe it or not, that's actually the price. Denise wants to know if you guys can put your links in here, if that's okay. Sure, you can put links in here. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, as long as they're relative to what we're talking about, yeah. Okay, I assume you mean on Facebook. All right, so we'll see if we can get some temperatures over for Australia. And unfortunately, to my Australian friends, I have it in Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So it's in the high 70s in Brisbane, which means it's warm. Towards the center of Australia, it's almost 80 on the East Coast. In the nice sunny East Coast, it is in the 80s. It's high almost as 90 up in Port Hedland. So good. And of course, I know you're probably ready for the temperature. Large map. What you are looking at is the actual current temperatures and how they're extending down from the Great White North. And we can see in the equator line there where it's warm down to the south of that. So it's pretty typical this time of year. And if you also notice this map, which I decided that I bookmarked this one, I like this one a lot. It shows us where it is daylight and where it is dark. It's daylight in Greenland. So if we're ready to invade, it's a go. It's green. So Chris says, you asked the dinosaur if he has a spare room for you. Oh, good Lord. Chris, you're just going to get him stirred up in the chat. And I'm here for that. All right, Chris, your favorite map. This is the wind. And we can see, as we discussed earlier in the week, that front has moved across the country, although it has not extended as far south as they had predicted it, but it is spinning down from the Great White North, and it's actually centered pretty much over Illinois, sweeping back up into the Great Lakes. The front on the East Coast is pushed slightly inward, and it's causing the winds to come in, and probably is what's causing that storm coming off of the northeast coast. And that front that's coming down through the center of the country is trying really hard to get down to the Gulf of America. I don't know that it will make it that far, but I do know that we're going to have some recorded lows in the 40s here in Atlanta for the next couple days. And of course, they're talking about some of that Yankee dander in parts of the South. So Chris says, I don't know what we did to piss off Mother Nature, but I'm sick of this up and down stuff. I agree, and I need to Google it and see. There's nicknames for each one of these winter weathers. When it gets warm and gets cold, there's like blackberry winter, frost, and strawberry frost, and they have a name for each and every one of them. And personally, I'm with you. I'm ready for the Keys. Let's go investigate skunk ape in Key West. But maybe we should investigate mermaids in Key West. Maybe that would be what it is. Are mermaids a thing? Asking for a friend. I don't know. Wendell, tell me. All right, we'll scan over to the winds down under. Our friends, still a counterclockwise rotation off of the coast of Queensland with Cyclone Alfred, and it is moving slightly inward, but not much, off to the southern coast. You have that front sitting there spinning up and pushing throughout the center of Australia, almost to the middle of the continent, extending over to the east coast or west coast. And so you have that pushing, but pretty much that cyclone is getting everything out of its way in advance of coming inland. But probably the low, or it might be a high to the south. I'm not sure how the predictions are down there. But that high might be what turns Cyclone Alfred to the left, to the south, and causes it to weaken the little front off of the southern coast of Australia. Chris, is my meteorological skills getting better? I'm trying. All right, so this is the other page. This page for the continental United States is great for weather warnings if you want to know what's going on in your area or just in general. Maryland is always doing test messages. Why? I don't understand that. The new warnings, special marine warnings for the coastal waters, talking about South Carolina. Good Lord, wrong coast. Special weather statement for severe weather, probably snow in Pennsylvania. Sound meteorological analysis. I don't know about that. Florida and Georgia are going to have some rip currents. That's got to be along the East Coast. There was a gale warning in the coastal waters of Fernando Beach. All right. And it looks like the tornado warning in Dinwiddie County, Virginia, has about a minute left before it expires. There's a blizzard warning in Iowa, and of course the fire weather watch in Florida, and we're still under in the south from West Virginia down through the southern states, a wind advisory. So the Florida wind advisory was the newest thing that has been alerted. So as we can see, all of the weather is currently pretty much centered there off of the coast of North Carolina, The most extreme stuff is about to make it out off into the Atlantic. So get out of here. We're done with you. Go away. It's showing currently where I am. It's 60 degrees, and it's relatively clear skies. All right. Let's see how our air quality is. Oh, we'll go to this first. This is the power outage.us. This is the map that shows us where power is out in the country. And Cheyenne's like, we're having weather. Got it. Check. Well, I'm trying, Cheyenne. This map should be embarrassed following up the 3D wind map. I get it. So this shows us where power is out. Greater than 50,000 in Texas, 10,000 in California, Nevada, pretty much from Louisiana all the way up, almost out through to Canada, is where that storm has still left tens of thousands of people without power. And last night from Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, that storm wreaked havoc and took out power to more than 10,000 people in those states. Ironically enough, South Carolina is not reporting any outages, just rather odd. I'm probably going to guess that their center is without power. Virginia and North Carolina are reporting at least 10,000 people without power. So it's interesting about South Carolina. They show one county, Saluda County, has 1,600 people without power. That's it in the whole county, or in the whole state of South Carolina. Interesting. Whereas in North Carolina, it's primarily along the Tennessee border, where the storm picked up intensity this morning coming over the Appalachia. Yep. You see there is where it picked up speed this morning. And this is from last night over in the Cumberland Gap up towards the Kentucky area where the storm was remnants from yesterday. So, and I'm going to guess everybody in Texas is probably due to the fire in the storms from yesterday. I'm guessing that that's probably more wind related, where this is probably more fire related. All right. Cheyenne says last night was Tree-mageddon. And I think I messaged you this, Cheyenne, or at least I commented on it. Or no, it was with Casey. We got lucky. We live in an area here in Georgia where it is usually horrible for the trees falling and the weather coming down, but we got lucky last night, and that's not what they were calling for. As up to about 10 o'clock last night, they were saying we were going to get some significant weather and brush fire Mageddon. Yes, and unfortunately, it's about to get worse. So, all right, what we're looking at now is our interactive map of air quality. And it looks pretty good. It's usually more in the center of the country, like from Kansas City down through the Gulf of America coast where the most moderate conditions are. But we're in a clear, so that Canadian cold front that's bringing down is clearing out the air, taking out the smog. Even in Atlanta, places that are not experiencing that are down along the Brownsville, Texas area, all the way along the southern border into New Mexico. In Mexico, and over towards Phoenix, Los Angeles, your air quality always sucks, and a little bit up towards the Tacoma region in Vancouver of Seattle are having moderate air quality conditions for today. Cheyenne, you have good air today, so your sinuses should be better. Unfortunately, the winds are picking up. All right. Speaking of wildfires, like Cheyenne was, we are looking at the wildfire map. And these also, if you see like this little dot here, this is where the satellite has picked up a fire in Utah, but it is not confirmed it yet. In other words, there's not boots on the ground. I think that's interesting how now we can, I don't want to get into conspiracy theory, we can detect them. Maybe we can start them. So, yesterday that was Cheyenne. And here in Georgia, it was horrible. It was horrible. So, all right. So there was some concern because they were talking about because the winds were really picking up, and after the storms blew through, of course, There was some lightning fires that started. So there was some concern about doing evacuations. As far as I know, they did not do any evacuations. However, there are still some fires raging in the Smoky Mountains. But as far as I know, it's not affecting anyone. But it is not contained at this time. Let's see if they give us an update on it. Sevier County, 400 acres. Cause was human, started yesterday, and it is not contained as of yet. Stupid humans. I thought the storm started some of these. Monroe County, 200 acres. Fire activity was extreme and cause undetermined. Sean says there's a structure fire with 2 buildings in our county and 2 brush fires in 2 surrounding counties. Yeah. Let's take a look up there. Well, the only thing they're reporting on here is right at the border, and Dan's Branch, 200 acres and cause undetermined, and it started on the 1st and has not been controlled. So the map is a little bit behind. Over towards Chris, looks like you're pretty clear. Most of the fires right now are in lower Oklahoma, right at the Texas border, and there's quite a few significant fires there. There's still the fires in Alabama along the south. I was hoping that the storms would get rid of some of these, but even they're being persistent and pesky. Even along the Carolina coast, they're still burning. 275 acres. Oh, on International Drive, and it was caused by humans. Freaking shocker. On International Drive in Myrtle Beach. What the hell? Covington Drive fire, 1,600 acres. This one down right on the beach. Blackthorn Drive, 1,600 acres, caused by humans. Why are humans? Are these eco-terrorists or are these just dumbasses? I mean, I'm curious. Shine says the one in Clay County, they didn't even want to touch until this morning. Well, there's a lot that are that way. You don't want to start messing with them until daylight hours because of, well, there's a lot of things. The intensity, the weather, manpower, but visibility is the big thing. Yeah, I was really hoping that these storms would quench some of these fires over on the East Coast. But so far, it hasn't. Like I said, I wonder if we're not looking at eco-terrorism with the causes all being human, or if there's really just that many dumbasses in the United States. Don't answer that. I already know the answer. We really don't have any fire sensors further down under. And the only smoke you see is it's pushing it all down in Mexico City into Guatemala. So, yes, dumbass is doing controlled, and she put that in quotes. Controlled burns. Yes. We had some of them here. Yeah. And there are just that many. So, all right. So there's your wildfire, and what little bit of smoke, we've pushed it down with the winds into Mexico. All right. We're going to look at the event map, but I've changed it up. Well, I had changed it up a bit. Let's see if I can go back to that. Event list. This will bring us to the most order by date. Event date. I had this fixed earlier, but it doesn't look like it's going to cooperate with me. Dang it. All events. I had this so nice earlier. See if I can go back and have it the way I had it before. Map. It may not cooperate with me here. I had to change the imagery so that it wasn't running my computer deaf to topography. And is this it? Nope. All right, well, we'll just take a little spinsy around and see what's going on. See what's new. Of course, there's still the snow out in Denver. Oh, snow, Denver, yes. Heavy snowfall is still continuing. It's been persistent in Colorado in the mountains. And high winds. Exactly, Chris. You know, that's the funny part. It does less slowing my computer than this one does. Winter storm in Kansas. We're looking more for, we know about the weather stuff already. What's going on up in Chicago? Social incident was reported on the 4th. I think we talked about this. Teen shot outside of school. Yeah, we talked about that one. And what do we got over here in New York? We talked about this one already. That's 6 injured in the fire. What we have down here in the Carolinas. No, that's not it. I had this all brought up, and for some reason it updated. It was only showing the newest. There's now reported of 159 cases of the measles in Texas. I did see that update. And these are all wind, storm. I had this so lined up earlier where it was just the new stuff. But nothing significant as far as the events occurring outside of the weather stuff that we've talked about. We'll slide down under and see if there's anything over there. Alfred is still causing problems, as we've discussed. And off of the West Coast, they're still looking at the breakdown of energy supplies. Thousands are still without power. And they're experiencing high winds in Mount Terrible radar. Okay, high winds. And of course, everything associated with cyclone. And we discussed the fire in Australia, Sydney. All right, so that's pretty much that. Yes, Cheyenne, tell us if you see anything in that. I'll pause for a moment. And while I do, I want to thank everybody at Radio X, because I know they're about to dodge out here the next 5 minutes. Everybody at Radio X in Australia, hop on over to YouTube and find us under the Para Are Normal Guys. 3 separate words, guys with a Z. Jump in the chat and join Cheyenne, Chris, and Wendell in harassing me, and we'll continue on with the next hour. But I do appreciate everybody for listening on Radio X in Australia, and I wish you well. Cheyenne, I think that Chris, she may not be seeing anything. I don't know. Just saying. Let's just say it looks like an old soldier sitting on 2 worn out duffel bags. How about that? With a... Never mind. Never mind. A growth of some sort. Love it, Cheyenne. Love it. Cheyenne, you should hop on here and do the news with me one day. It would be fun. They would probably enjoy a female voice rather than hearing me go on and on. All right, so this not only came up in the speech last night, but it is a major worldwide headline. The United States has arrested the ISIS-K attack planner for the role in killing the 13 military service members at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan. On March 2nd, the United States charged Mohammed Sharifullah, also known as Jafar, much easier to pronounce, a member of the terrorist organization of the Islamic State of Iraq, in Ash Sham Khorasan Province, ISIS-K, with conspiring to provide materials, support, and resources to a designated foreign terrorist organization, resulting in death in violation of 18 United States Statute Code, blah, blah, blah. He has been arrested and expected to appear in the Eastern District of Virginia on 5 March, which is today. This evil ISIS-K terrorist orchestrated the brutal murder of 13 heroic service members, one of them from my area in Tennessee, in Corryton. And the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said under the president's strong leadership in the world stage, the Department of Justice will ensure that terrorists like Shafar have no safe haven. This includes the drug cartels in Mexico. I'm going to put a sidebar here. Yesterday, the Canadian Prime Minister tried to figure out why they were being punished as much as Mexico was in the border. And I was thinking about this. You don't have tanks pointed at your country, so you might want to rethink that. Be careful what you wish for, because there are currently tanks and Blackhawks pointed at Mexico. The lethal attack that killed... sidebar. I'm done. You shiny. The lethal attack that killed 13 Americans. See what you're going to miss here, Radio X. The lethal attack that killed 13 American service members and Afghan civilians during U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan was an act of terror. So said the FBI director, Kash Patel. ISIS-K brazenly claimed responsibility for the carnage. Now, thanks to the assistance of the FBI, the Department of Justice, and the Central Intelligence Agency, they have secured Jafar and apprehended him and is transporting him to the U.S. He was being transported during the speech last night. Meow. And the FBI will never forget the loss of those American heroes. We will continue to hunt down those who viciously murder our warriors. We will find all responsible and bring them to justice. Think about that later when we're signing a mineral rights agreement. We're not going to offer them any guarantee, but think of that statement. Our message to those who have impacted these horrible crimes is not going to be forgotten. We will continue to pursue justice no matter how long or how far. So think about that when we're signing that minerals deal. They go on to talk about how the incident occurred on 26 August 2021, and at approximately 5:36 local time, there was a body-worn detonated suicide device. Approximately 160 civilians. During the interview with FBI special agents on 2 March 2025, after waiving his Miranda rights, I guess he was Mirandized because he was being brought into the United States, but he definitely doesn't have any rights as an American citizen. So the constitutional right shouldn't be afforded him, but I'll digress. Maybe we're just doing fair and equal treatment. He admitted to helping prepare for the Abbey Gate attack, including scouting a route near the airport for an attacker. He specifically checked for law enforcement, American and Taliban checkpoints, and then he communicated to the other members that he believed the coast was clear. The attacker could go ahead and take his bomb and blow it up, as previously planned. During his interview, he admitted to supporting conducting activities on behalf of ISIS-K in multiple other lethal attacks. On June 2016, a suicide bomber acting for ISIS-K detonated a bomb that killed over 10 embassy guards and multiple civilians and wounded other soldiers guarding the Canadian embassy in Kabul. ISIS claimed responsibility for the attack. As alleged in the complaint prior to the attack, he says that he conducted surveillance to prepare the suicide bomber and later transported the bomber to the attack area. So this is the organizer, the bad guy, not the one brave enough to put on the vest and go get his 10,000 virgins or whatever it is. On 2 March 2024, a group of ISIS-K gunmen attacked Crocus City Hall near Moscow. The attack killed approximately 135 and injured numerous others. Russian authorities arrested 4 gunmen in connection with the attack. During his interview talking about Jafar, the FBI, he admitted that on behalf of ISIS-K, he had shared instructions on how to use the AK-style rifles and other weapons to the would-be attackers. He admitted to recognizing 2 of the 4 gunmen as those he had previously instructed. Boy, he's lucky that we got him before Russia did, because he'll at least get to use his Miranda and constitutional rights in our country. He wouldn't. Cheyenne says, oh, he's getting his virgins after he's definitely going out with the Disney villain song. If convicted, he faces a maximum penalty of life in prison. Wonder if we would consider waiving extradition to Russia. That's something. All right. Chris says, big props for my quality and enunciation of Mexico and Kabul. Attorneys U.S. Michael, whatever his name is, and Troy Edwards of the Eastern District of Virginia have got trial attorney Alice Cook, Charles Kovatz, Ryan White for the Department of Justice National Security Division. They're pursuing the case. And so it will be in court today. We will follow up on that tomorrow. I'm sure he's going to get a public defender. Well, I don't know. We saw earlier, doing speeches. Maybe there'll be somebody organized to help him. No, this was the one. This was the one that I had it lined up so we didn't have to look at everything again. All right. So a lot of wind off of the Gold Coast of Queensland is the, well, we've already lost Canada. We never had Canada. Quebec. We're going to take Greenland. That's another story, though. I'm just having a moment. Jesus God. Where are we going here? We're going to wind in Port Augusta, South Australia. High wind warning. All right, go back. How are you going? I bet you take me right back. You bugger. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the list again. I shouldn't have pushed that button. Dang it. Go away. No. So it moves it down here. Hazards. Wind. High wind in Australia. Southwestern floods. Pretty much we're all going to hell. Queensland, Gold Coast, high winds, wildfire down in Mozambique, I'm assuming. Severe weather in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, to our neighbors to the north. And an earthquake reported an hour ago. Where was that? In Sola Vanuta. I don't know where that is. A 5.0 earthquake has occurred northwest of Sola Vanuatu, as reported by the National Earthquake Center. Okay. Wonder where that is. Okay, because that occurred less than an hour ago. And let's see what else we got. Severe weather in Brisbane. These are the latest alerts. Ontario, some winter squalls. A tornado in Wakefield, Virginia. That was 2 hours ago. Hamilton, Ontario. Severe weather reported an hour ago. Notice all that wind surrounding Bobby Dizzle, and yet none has the stones to enter Alabama. It's correct. It's correct. Tornado in Wilmington, North Carolina. Severe weather in Ontario. Ontario is getting the wrath of it up here with the severe weather. They're getting thunder snow, which ironically would have been my rock band's name. Thunder snow. All right. Is that it? Ooh, that's some pretty colors. We'll zoom down here and look down under, and we'll see. Cyclone Alfred's just sitting there being a pain in the ass. So nothing new with it. All right, Chris, we're going to go to your favorite subject. First, we'll start with top scores from yesterday. I understand that the women's SC, he must be up to something. B Dizzle is always up to something, but never listening to my show. I noticed earlier that the SEC tournament was women's college basketball was about to begin yesterday in college basketball. Women's college basketball. No, this is men's college basketball. Texas A&M, BYU, Purdue, Creighton, Oregon, and UK were all winners. Soccer, Real Madrid beat the other Madrid. In the NBA, the Bucks, the Cavaliers, the Suns, and the Lakers were all winners. In the NHL, the Lightning were the winners. And today in college basketball is, let's see, this is men's college basketball. I think these are all night games because I think the women's college basketball tournaments have all kicked off today. Yeah, they've all kicked off today. And Tennessee has beat Texas A&M. Yay! They're still ranked 18th. Let's see. Missouri, Mississippi State, Slater tonight. 6 o'clock tonight's Rutgers, Nebraska, and University of Las Vegas is playing Wyoming tonight. And let's see. Let's go back over here to men's. And today in the SEC, which is really all we're concerned about, 9 o'clock, Tennessee plays Ole Miss. And if anybody has any requests, they can put them in. Florida plays Alabama. Let's go Florida. And that's all I see for the SEC. The ACC, Clemson's got Boston, so that should be pretty good. I don't think there's any news in NASCAR because of the race being on Sunday, so nothing there. And Chris wanted me to discuss soccer. And Chris, I believe you were looking at which game? The Paris-Liverpool? Was that the one? That's the UFL, the United Football League, or the XFL, depending on who you ask. And currently the quarterbacks are on strike for more money. So I got nothing. That game's coming up tonight, Chris, or this afternoon. Actually, it's coming up in an hour. So we're looking for that to be an exciting game. And Chris, you'll have to fill me in. But today at 3 on Paramount Plus, and it looks as though it's going to be an exciting. Really? All right. So that's the big news. 50 minutes, 25 seconds for you, Chris. I don't understand soccer. Don't understand soccer. But I'm going to have to learn it. So there you go. Let's see. MLB, I believe, didn't they wrap spring training up, or is it about to wrap up? The Orioles are up over the Twins. Red Sox are up over 1 over the Rays. What other highlights? The Nationals are losing to the Marlins. Still early. And then there's some games later this afternoon. I was thinking spring training was about to wrap up. UFC, well, since you mentioned it, Cheyenne, we'll bring up UFL. First week of the UFL starts March 28th. And the UFL, if it goes on as predicted, will run for 10 weeks. And it's going to be weekly on Fox. Actually, no, some of the games are on ESPN. I was thinking they're all on Fox. We're going to have a show. The two lip men, the father and son, are going to be talking about the games every Sunday night. Look for that on the Sportcat shows. It'll be at 8 o'clock, and it's going to be exciting times. So Cheyenne said she was ready for the booties. I don't think there are any major sports stories. Well, we are going to talk about one that I know Cheyenne will like, but there's been talks of Aaron Rodgers going from the Giants. They even talked about him moving out to the West Coast. I think he just needs to retire, personally. I know I got a story. Yeah, I do. Hold on. We'll bring it up here. We'll get into some of Cheyenne's stuff. Tim Tebow and his wife, Demi Lee Tebow, have revealed the sex of the first baby. Denver Broncos alumni Tim Tebow and his wife, Demi, announced the sex of their first baby in January. This is just released to the public. They're gearing up to share they're expecting the couple announced they're having a girl. We can't wait to meet our baby girl and excited for all the big milestones, little movements in between, the couple told E! News. Getting to watch her grow every day and become a person God created her will be such a gift. Though, as the pair shared, they had guessed their baby sex beforehand. Funny enough, we both had a strong hunch it was a girl all along. However, we would have been thrilled either way. Expanding, knowing she's a girl has definitely influenced some of what we've picked out. The nursery is mostly neutral, but now has splashes of pink here and there. Tebow, 37, and Demi, 29, are welcoming the baby girl, and they've been busy celebrating with the loved ones of their life by their side. All right, so they've been soaking in the moment, and they're happily looking forward to the baby girl. She doesn't look very pregnant in those photos. We need some baby bump pictures. And Wendell says he's ready for the breasticles. Talking about the pregnant breasticles, Wendell? You've confused me. All right. So this was trending. Who is Daredevil? Well, Daredevil is a fictional character created by the Marvel Cinematic Universe, also Marvel Comics. The character Matt Murdock is he goes by the alias of Daredevil, and he's a lawyer by day who specializes in legal defense alongside his colleagues Foggy Nelson and Karen Page, also while aiding other super-powered individuals within New York City. He further pursues his crusade to inflict his own brand of justice at night, masquerading as a vigilante, hoping to remove the corruption facing Hell's Kitchen, following the Battle of New York and the Avengers. Murdoch is blind, if you follow this character, and his senses have given him superhuman level skills. His activity would eventually bring him into conflict with other large businessmen known as Wilson Fisk, and it goes on from there. So Matt Murdock, that's who he is, and the new Daredevil has premiered. They've dropped 2 episodes. This is a decade after Netflix debuted. Cheyenne, I really need you here. Debuted Daredevil series. It ran for 3 seasons. Charlie Cox has returned as the blind masked vigilante. The Disney Plus revival of Daredevil Born Again. It's brilliant continuation centering on a gutted Matt Murdock, who newfound rage threatens to consume him. He's contending with the reemergence of Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, a volatile mobster who has just been elected the mayor of New York City. This Daredevil revival is wonderfully complex. It takes a sledgehammer to its former Netflix world, allowing the character to transform under the weight and pain of time. So I'm gonna have to check that out. I haven't seen it yet. Talks about who created it and the characters. The moon looms large. The spirited trio heads into Josie's bar to celebrate Cherry's retirement from NYPD. Unfortunately, the party quickly descends into madness. Matt quickly suits up in his Daredevil costume and is fighting off Bullseye, a psychopathic former FBI agent who sweeps through Josie's, leaving death in his wake. The night shatters Matt's world forever. A year later, Matt is trying to restart his life, putting Daredevil firmly in his past. He's launched a new criminal practice. Okay, I can do that. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys, I got sidelined by a personal message here. So maybe, just maybe, we'll get a guest appearance. We were talking about, gotta close that screen. A year later, Matt is trying to restart his life, and he's putting it firmly together in a new criminal law practice. What are you doing a deep sigh for there, Soul? Come on. I'm not that bad, am I? While much of season 1, Daredevil Born Again, focuses on Matt's resilience to fight crime outside of the courtroom, the series also showcases how people as maniacal as Fisk and his Kingpin wife, Vanessa, use violence, terror, and sheer force of will to obtain portions of power and shape the court of public opinion. Moreover, Daredevil highlights their strained marriage, which is fractured due to Fisk's prolonged absence, his political ambitions, and the duo's differing lifestyles. It's not clear until the later half of the 9 episodes what's going to go on, and sent the whole season to critics for review, and looks like it's going to be a great show. I was hoping that I get a visitor. Did I not send the link? Yeah, I sent the link. All right. You wonder if it's better than the first one. Do you remember the first Daredevil movie? I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, he's a blind lawyer. So, yeah, I sent you the link, by the way. What else have I missed? He's ready for breasticles, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right. So, yeah, this goes over. I'm not going to spoil the whole season, but the first 2 episodes. Hello there, Shael Chaos Island. The first 2 episodes have dropped on Disney Plus, and go check them out. Have you seen them yet, Cheyenne? The first 2 episodes of Daredevil.
We're
have
still
you
talking
seen
about
them?
Daredevil?
Yeah, we're still
I
talking
don't
about
get it.
Daredevil.
Flying
You don't get into
fajoodle
Daredevil?
about
Really?
Daredevil. No.
Wow.
Now, when they
Wow.
decide to come out with a Spawn series, then I'll be all up on that.
Well, they might. Yeah, who knows?
They've been talking about it for forever, and I keep waiting for it to happen. Come on, Todd.
Yeah, Todd needs to get on his game. I agree with you there. Yeah, especially with Venom being so popular, you would think that they would.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a Venom comeback. I got up from work, or got up to get ready to go to work the other day. I got up, to get ready for work the other day, and Mom and my nephew were out there, and I caught the ending of the last Venom movie, and I was like, I didn't even get to see the whole thing. I already know
Don't
what
you hate that?
happens. I don't like it.
Yeah, I hate that too. I used to do that all the time being on duty. I've seen parts of more movies than I've actually seen.
Yeah. I was like, what is that? Oh God, no.
Yep.
That's not
Yep.
supposed to happen.
Yeah, I haven't seen all of it yet. Well, I haven't seen any of the second one yet. So yeah, I'm waiting. So, or is this the third one?
Return of the tiny cans.
Aw, for your little hands.
Yes.
Well, they can hold big things. So looking at the New England fire alerts, looks like most of the activity is up in New Hampshire with two-story wood frame in Nassau, and looks like they've got several fires in New Hampshire going on right now. Minneapolis, 2900 block of Grand Avenues. Say second and third alarms for heavy wind-driven fires in a vacant dwelling.
Ugh.
What's that?
Yeah, heavy wind-driven fire.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that wind coming down is stronger than people are thinking about. We had people in this neighborhood being dumbasses, and the fire department was out here in our neighborhood. It's like, good Lord.
Yeah.
They're dumbasses. You're dumbasses. They don't listen. They even sent out an emergency broadcast that they would put people in jail if there was a fire. It was that bad. So let's see. Luzerne, Pennsylvania, second alarm for a 3-story commercial building. And
Structure fire.
Yeah, these are a lot of structure fires up in the Northeast for those winds are prominent right now. Minneapolis, that's the first alarm for it. And this is the second for DuPont. Elizabeth, New Jersey, second alarm for a fire in a private dwelling. In Hamilton, New York, 2-story second alarm transmitted for a chimney fire. That's kind of odd. Medway, Mass, an assault. They're on scene of the assault. 3 transported advanced life support to Milford Hospital. Helicopter to meet them. Unknown perp. Wreck with entrapment in Chester, New York. They advise they have 2 DOAs, 1 critical, transported by ground, then transferred to medevac. Oh, no, the medevac
Then
was
canceled.
Yeah, well, that's probably not good news. It's probably going to be another DOA or fatality. Let's see.
Code black.
Going into the middle of the night up in Chester, they had that was the accident with injury. Sorry, my bad. Queens, New York, PD on scene of a missing person. I enjoy how they do a mobilization. When they get in New York City, NYPD, they do a mobilization. When they send out there's missing child or missing elderly person, they have a complete task force that comes out and they just start combing blocks at grids. It really impresses me. They find a lot of their people. So whereas here in the South, we don't care. Just they're out in the hayfield somewhere. So
yeah, I've noticed with us, you kind of think that's how it's going to happen, and then they're like a mile down the road because they've ran out of gas
Oh my God. We went out one night and looked for this little lady who had wandered away from a nursing home. And I mean, we searched and searched. I went back to the command and I was waiting after having searched. And then we get a call as we're going back to quarters for PD has found a suspicious person in the middle of the high school football field. She wasn't suspicious. It was the old lady we've been looking for 2 hours. She
I think I had
it went into the stadium. It was in the middle of the field.
How old was she?
She was up there. She was in her 80s.
Good Lord.
In her core temperature. I'd love her was very low.
I think I'd told you we had got a call from a guy that was like, yeah, my truck just got stolen out from in front of my house. And we're looking on the map of all the roads that they could have went out. And one of the officers goes down the road and he's like, yeah, I found it. like a mile down the road. There's nobody in it. The keys are still in the vehicle. But it's called good old Appalachian jerry rigging your car. You keep it in such shit condition that only you know how bad it is and you know how to work it, so that when somebody else gets in it, because the cop was like, well, dude, you need to get your car fixed. And he's like, no, see, it's just something with the battery. I don't go very fast. See, if you go fast, it's gonna jostle it and it's gonna kick off. But I don't drive it very fast, so I don't got to worry about it disconnecting. But obviously this guy didn't know that, and the cop was like, you better keep it that way.
Yeah, no kidding.
So the cop just brought him down to the car. He rigged it back up and just had to drive it back up to his house. It was only a mile away. I was like, stupid, but great at the same time.
Exactly. Well, did you watch any of the presidential speech last night?
No, I was busy with other things.
Yeah, he probably didn't miss much. So
I got several X alerts on it, and I was just like, yeah, I don't care. I'm busy. Busy sitting here making a video and doing nothing.
And by the way, that was a great video. We'll play it again real
Thank
quick
you.
here in case anybody else has just topped in.
I worked very hard on the clock on that.
You did a great job. I'm proud of you. I love it. I love it. That's great. Yes, it was a good job. I loved it. Chris says he has to admire the ingenuity of that plan. Yes.
That we were all like, but like, that's kind of genius. That's what I said. That's like, that's some Appalachian genius right there.
Yeah, that redneck engineering, it goes a long way sometimes. Well, any other news or noteworthy items out in your part of the world besides for lots of fires and high winds?
That's been about it. Thankfully, I mean, I stayed at the bunks overnight just to save on gas, and I kept waking up. I'm like, what is going on? Because the right across from the women's bunk is our big boss's office, and he's got the same radios in there. So I keep hearing the fire station tone going off, and I'm like, why? Like, why are they toning the fire station so much? And I'm like trying to turn up my audiobook that I was falling asleep to, and I'm like, you guys gotta stop. And to come in about an hour later, and the list is probably like this freaking long of all the units that were out there. And it was a barn fire that then spread over to another building that was then going up into the woods. And I was like, I was trying to sleep through that.
I would imagine they would have preferred to have been asleep as well.
And then we kept getting calls about the brush fires that were like skirting our county. And we're like, well, we can't, if it comes over to us, we'll take care of it. When it decides to cross over into Nicholas, trust me, we'll take care of it. But until then, we can't do shit.
Yep.
because my boss is on our city's the only the only disadvantage that he has is that coincidentally the giant window that is inside the female bunk, you can see right through. There's a giant window
there. Why?
Well, it's in both. Like right beside is the men's.
Okay, so there's one of the men's too. Okay.
Yeah. But there is a glass window on the door, but that's the kind you can't see through. So I got the pleasure of telling a story to the cops the other day when I first had to stay there whenever the weather got really bad, which I believe was either in December or beginning of January. I didn't know that you could see through those windows.
Probably gave somebody a show.
I was like, well, I hope it started somebody's day off good, because I know I full on turned around in my bra and was like,
was Wendell out there?
I was like, these aren't blackout windows. You can, because then I was thinking, because my car was
Wendell
right,
like
well, because my car was parked right there, and I was like, I've looked at that window sitting in my, you can, oh no, oh no. So like I'm whenever I got in there the other day, I'm like leaned back against the door because my boss and one of my coworkers is leaving. I'm like,
that's funny. Yeah, they must not have taken that into consideration. Chris says
I was like,
the guy with the West Virginia truck plan and focus on the guy who designed this window plan. It's ingenious. It's ingenious, I say.
Well, and you know, I just feel like perhaps I should have been warned ahead of time, but you know, my boss is also one of the main guys on the Somersville Fire Department. So as his qualifications to be on the fire department, that's probably why he didn't tell me.
Oh, well. Perks. Perks of the job. Comfort Table, whatever the hell your name is. I'm not going to post your link. You're an idiot. So there you go. Wendell says he wishes he was there. He would have sent me photos, so I got my sneaks. So
but with my boss being one of the main guys on the Somersville Fire Department, he's sitting there like, why aren't either of these counties going out and doing anything?
Why are they all sitting outside of a window?
And he's like, trust me, the minute it comes over into Nicholas, we'll take care of it. And he's just like, are they not going to do? You guys aren't going to do anything? You guys aren't going to do anything about it?
No, I don't think it's going to be that way. So the conversation is taking an odd turn from the news show. Now we're inquiring on prices for bra picks.
Get us the subscribers and the watch hours.
That's it. Well, that's part of the reason I'm doing this daily news show, is besides for the fact that I wanted to, we talked about how I've been wanting to do a show about how we live to another day. That if I'm doing a show every day, I should get hours every day. So it'll help. It will. It's just a slow, torturous process. So
I'm pretty sure that you could just sit there with the wind map up, and you could just keep Chris all day.
That is such a cool map, though. Don't you think so? I love that map.
I feel like it would be better if it had if they added sound effects.
You know, could we do that? What is that? That DSMR or whatever it is?
Oh, ASMR, yeah.
ASMR, yeah. Could we do that? No, that's the wrong one. No, that's a stupid one.
I've wanted to do something like that, but I don't know what I do, because I watch a lot of ASMR, and a lot of it is so much the same. Everybody does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of who does it better.
Yeah.
Oh, so we'll just today's in today's news, the wind over northern Atlanta is a little more than it was yesterday. You can really see the flow coming in through Michigan. ASMR wind map.
Locked up. Lock up.
Let's see, is that coming into? Is that New York over there? That it is coming in.
Extremely slow. My view.
It is coming. It is coming in through the southern panhandle of Florida and wrapping up around through New York. If I can start, I'll get my long nails and I'll just start clicking on the mic at the same time. Okay.
Sweet nothing.
What happened?
Well, there we are. You started whispering sweet nothings.
I was like,
my computer went nuts. The minute you started whispering sweet nothings,
I was
my
like,
computer went nuts.
I was just like, you just start talking about the wind map, and I'll just be making wind sound effects in the background.
That's what I'll need you for that. So you're on. So there you go.
Just for you, Chris. Just for you.
Says Mrs. Sportcat cut the feed. She never watches this show. No matter how hard I try, she never watches the show. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I can definitely see the appeal of the map, but I do feel like sound effects would make it better.
I could do that. I need to find some wind sound effects to play on my soundboard while I'm doing that. So,
oh, good Lord, you're gonna type in wind and it's gonna start meowing at you again.
Oh, hold on. While I've got you here, I did find a new one, and I made it.
Oh boy!
No! Yeah, I made a new one for her.
Oh my God! Oh my God, she's gonna shit herself. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared. Now, yes. So what you've got to do is, as you're bringing her in, just play that.
That'll be her theme song as she comes in. One of the new sport kittens.
No, I wish is that as long as it goes.
Yeah, well, I could have made it the whole song. They did the whole song on YouTube.
Oh, because it would have been great for the player's gonna play. So just meow 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 meow.
Yeah, you can find it online. Yeah, I just cut it and made a little short one to keep myself from being in trouble with the copyright police.
Oh, the freaking Paul Walker one got me.
Yeah. So if you stumble upon any more, let me know. I'll be more than glad to make it. So.
Oh gosh, that's right. That's getting on Alvin and the Chipmunks level.
I think that's better than the Alvin and the Chipmunks in so many ways.
Meow 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 meow.
That's right, Chris. You got your own show right there. So.
Oh gosh.
You're gonna make Casey jealous. So, speaking of which, we'll just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. It's going to be me. I talked to Amanda earlier. It's going to be me, you, and Casey tonight. So she will be our new co-hostess. So I'm just gonna kind of sit back and watch. This is two guests we've had before. I really liked what's her name? Ann Charles. I really liked her. Trisha is very good as well, but I really liked Ann's books because they go into the cryptids in the Wild West. So
I don't know if I remember either of them.
Yeah, you will as soon as you've seen them. And Trisha's books are good too. I just like the cryptid paranormal effect and putting it in the Old West. And
yeah.
Hands, but yeah, it's gonna be a great show. And they were two great ladies, and I'm more than glad to have them back. I was glad Mickey let us. I don't think he's gonna let us have Glinda back because we threatened to keep her.
Come on, Mickey. I really liked her.
She's great. She's great.
But no, I was talking to Casey earlier, and I guess she said her work wife, because she wanted a rundown of who we had, and I sent her, what you put on the page, and she said her work wife actually knows both of them. So,
oh, personally,
oh,
that's cool. Maybe we can get some inside track. I was hoping to get this autographed book from Anne from the Deadwood series. I really was.
I wanted autographed book from Honey. Still working on it.
Well, I've got one. I just haven't had the time to send her the money for it. So, and we still have that code for 10% off in her store from our show. So, but yeah, we need to contact her and have her back on. So, she was great.
I had contacted her about one show a while back, but she was busy. So I need to message her again.
Now that we're in season 3 of the Paranormal Guys, we really need to have like a reunion show and catch up with some of the people from like the first season.
Yeah, because I didn't really come in until season 2. So
yeah.
Gosh, that concerns me. on the Gazette that he's getting aroused.
Yeah. Well, what news will do to you sometimes. You know who we should put together? The reporter that we had that punched Buzz Aldrin that got punched by Buzz Aldrin in the face. We should have him on at the exact same time as the lady who talked about all the moon landings and stuff she knows from Area 51. That would be a good show. Those two would probably. Well, she's kind of
now. Was that the one that kind of snuck in and saw stuff she wasn't technically supposed to see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Her and her husband both worked at Area 51. He had higher clearance than she did, but she'd go there for lunch and would look in the windows at the aliens and shit.
Yeah. I remember that. I was like,
I'm not supposed to talk about that. I'm like, oh, go ahead.
It's just fine.
So, yeah, we should have those two on so he can say how it doesn't exist and she'll be like, oh, hell no. I looked in the window. Come on. Do like a Rawdo show. So maybe for a Vegas show, we'll see if we can get her to punch him.
Gosh. We would have to. Gosh, who would we compile for our Vegas show? Like our best guests?
The list is so long.
I know.
I mean, I would want Kat there to perform a song.
Kat would have to be there. Who was the hot guy that sang too? Forget what his name was.
Les? No, I don't think Les sang a song.
I remember his face.
Les. Yeah. He came on the week after Les. He was Les's friend. That's right. I can't remember his name either.
Kat would have to be there. We'd have to have Honey. Definitely. I would demand that Glenda is there.
Yes.
Grandma Moses.
Yes.
I feel like it wouldn't be
I got nothing.
I feel like it wouldn't make it. We would need to allot a 15-minute time slot for the ukulele player. I just feel like it wouldn't be, Kyle would have to be there. Yes.
Have Kyle and the ukulele player on at the same time.
Okay, so hear me out. She sits on his
over his head.
She sits on his lap while playing the ukulele.
And he's doing a line of coke.
Yes, off her ass. Off her titties.
I think she would do that.
Yep. Just a 10 to 15 minute slot. That's it. We could allot no more than that, but just.
And what happens backstage?
Just be happy for him.
Everything stays in Vegas.
It's Vegas, baby.
Oh, when we get monetized and rich and famous, this is what we're going to do. So
this is where all our money's going to the slots and a show at Caesar's Palace, I guess.
By then I'll probably be 60, so for me it's going to be strippers and blow. So
yeah. Hey, and funny enough, I'm pretty sure that Kyle will be right there with you. So
probably I'll be like, did you get this off a toilet seat?
And he's
how are we going to get Andy out there? That's going to be the trick. So
I'll just stand outside the house and just
like a carrot.
Come on.
Yes, I believe that would do it. So
I'll just go ask really, really nicely. He can sit beside me on the plane.
There you go.
He just has to keep his hands to himself.
No promises. No promises.
And hands here at all times.
Come on now. You gotta give the little fella something.
He can touch the knee. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Just the one though.
Let's see if it can be extradited for a weekend. I think we would have to have a task force. Mike would have to help us with this.
Hey, we could get a police escort.
Oh, Mike would be more than glad to take one of the fire trucks out of service to bring him to Vegas. Have him show up waving on a fire truck.
Yeah, like Santa.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He appears as often as Santa out in public. So there you go.
I mean, I feel like that would be what would be expected of us. So something ridiculous like that.
Oh yeah, for our entrance, we're gonna have to in a fire truck or something.
Well, you can come in on a fire truck. Me and Amanda will come in like a Cinderella carriage.
I was gonna say with a police car, so as long as you're not in the back of it. No. See, then I feel like we would have to go full out. Police come around, unlock the door, have to unhandcuff both of us, and then we can go inside. I'm down with
But then we just take them right back and just into the pocket, and there we go. We are keeping these for later.
Oh, it stays in Vegas.
I mean, I feel like that would. But like it would not be able to be Las Vegas City Police. It would have to be like a couple states over.
Like you were extradited from California or something. You just had a weird moment, by the way. I don't know who it was, but somebody just opened the door and peeked in on you and then just closed the door. I don't know who it was.
What? Oh, you're fine. Yeah. It was my mother.
It's like a weird creeper, bro. All you can see was like two eyes open the door and he just like, damn it, Wendell found her.
He wouldn't have shut the door.
That's true.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, shoot, we had that guy on the show a couple weeks ago from Louisiana. We can have him hook us up. we'll get Louisiana cops to
There you go.
to bring us over. They kicked us off Bourbon Street for going into all the witchy voodoo shops and
Wendell asked what happened to B Dizzle. Well, if we can't get him to call it, it's probably because Mrs. Dizzle won't allow him out of the house, or the little Diz. So
I don't know. He apparently had a pretty good Bigfoot sighting in his kitchen, as I saw.
yes, yes, he did.
Now
And
we
he's
will have
gonna
him extradited from Alabama to Las Vegas.
We will. Maybe we'll have him enunciate the show. I can say since I discovered him, so
yeah, he's got to MC the whole thing.
Exactly. We'll have
And
him
he'll
MC.
just be on a stool over in the corner making smart ass comments the whole time.
Pretty much what he does anyhow. So,
Exactly. So
yeah. So
we've got this planned.
Absolutely. So come on, help us get monetized so we can make the Vegas show possible. So
Make Vegas great again.
that's right. That would have been your boss with the camera opening the door if you're at work. No, a little drone would have flown down in front of the window is probably the way it would have been. All right. Well, we're about at the 2 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Well, we're about at the 2 hour mark. So I went over, but I'm glad you came on. You're welcome to come on any of the news shows. As you see, some days it's rather dry. Other days you missed the beginning where I went on a rant, and probably haven't looked to see if we're still live on Jurg's radio. If Ross kicked this off when I went on my rant. No, we're still live. Ross is fair up the middle when I went.
What were you ranting about?
Oh, well, here, since we're no longer live on Radio X, and we're no longer live in anywhere but our own minds. This was the video that the Democrats dropped just before the show. The speech.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
I want to know who paid for this. As every Democrat with the same speech, almost verbatim, holding the same little dinky mic. Can you not at least afford a big mic, you dumb?
I feel incredibly overwhelmed, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to know what's going on?
No, it's a structured attack on America. So you want to tell me that who paid for that? Who paid for that?
They probably had somebody like me throw them like 80 clips and like, here, put all this in one.
No. That was the same speech. They recorded individually and somebody put it all together when they caught what they were doing. That was what they put for their ex or their community. Each Democrat recorded that on their own, and they got caught.
That they were all saying the exact same thing.
Yep. Script.
And the Democrats released that?
Yes. Individually to their own neighborhoods and local television. Yes.
Was that supposed to make them look better?
Apparently they forgot that social media wouldn't catch them. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I really don't understand. You could have got by with that in the 80s. But
shoot, in the 90s.
Yeah, even in the 90s. And I showed this one. This was Stephen A. Smith. And his commentary on it is great. Maybe play, go.
Now you see why Stephen A. Smith was in the polls as a presidential candidate? See what I'm talking about? You see that idiocy right there?
Yes.
You talk about something, people being tone deaf. Why the hell would 22 Democratic senators be literally echoing the same thing and think that would resonate with the American people?
That's a sports
All
guy.
it shows
Yes, it is
that the same fabric of our democracy is unchanging in the eyes of some of these officials, and as a result, the constituency they represent, which is why Donald Trump is in office.
touchdown.
What, do I have to come up to Capitol Hill and give you lessons?
I'm waiting for him.
Seriously, you don't get it? All you did, Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Chuck Schumer. Let's all get together. Let's put this in a prompter, and all together, albeit in separate rooms, we'll grab a microphone and say the same damn thing. And that's what's going to resonate with the American people. And then you wonder why you're no longer in power. You wonder why Trump is in the White House.
Bingo.
So that's Stephen A. Smith?
Yes, that's the sports
Okay.
color guy. And he's a Democrat.
It's funny. He was giving the way that he was going with stuff was giving me very Booker T from WWE, and I was waiting for him to say like, "I'm gonna put a boot up your ass."
That's what they need. Get all those old people out of there, for Christ's sake. The guy that got they made history last night. There was actually a senator removed from the floor during the speech. Yeah, history was made, and they're proud of that.
What? Why did they have to be removed?
Because he wouldn't sit down and shut up. President is speaking. Sit your ass on your hands. Shut up. That's what you do, no matter who's in party, if Republican or Democrat. But no, we have to show our ass. Hold on here. I got to clip that too.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the sergeant at arms to restore order.
Get him out.
Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
First time in American history. I'm really proud of this. Don't get it. Don't get it. I love it. Hey. Good. They couldn't get it going.
Yeah, go wave your cane out the damn door.
Members are
Hey,
directed.
but save Medicaid.
You know, I have been alive for coming up on 56 years. And I can remember my grandmother worrying about them. They're going to take our Social Security. They're going to take them. If they ain't done it in 60 damn years, they ain't going to do it. Come on, people. Wake up. Realize 22 of them on the same damn screen saying the same damn thing. It's not a good look. Not a good look. So.
But it's the thing is they are hold on. I have literally been awake since 5:00 last night, so give me a minute to think of from Star Trek. They're like that. It's not the Hive, it's the Borg. They all they don't know how to think freely.
It's ridiculous. So I'll have to follow the news and see if they have disciplined him in Congress. They should. Of course, they'll say that, it was
It's freedom of speech.
Made somebody feel some kind of way. So you're allowed to protest. You're allowed to sit. You don't have to stand. You don't have to applaud. You can hold up your little sign, whatever. But you got to show respect. And that, we have for 200 years, and finally somebody gets kicked out.
Well, do we need a repeat of what happened whenever they booed the national anthem?
I don't know. I don't understand how they expect to get reelected doing stupid shit like this, voting against the Lincoln Raleigh Act.
Now, if somebody would have come up from the back and just tackled him and started beating the shit out of him, then I would have been like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's a
Fuck
little
with
extreme.
America.
It's a little extreme. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene off the top rope.
I'm sorry, we're not playing hockey, so it's a little different.
Ooh, tag team match with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Bray Bart in wrestling suits. Whew. Now Wendell's got me excited thinking about that. Holy cow. So you know who she is?
I mean,
right? Lauren
yes.
Bray Bart. You know she's dating Kid Rock.
I'm so sorry for her.
I don't get it either. Hey, she wants a little Waffle House life and action in her life.
Hey, the American badass there.
And well, he built his own White House. Maybe she's getting to see the executive mansion in a different way. So,
well, he's seeing somebody's Oval Office. So,
hey, more. I'm here for it. I go Kid Rock. All right, we're out of here. We've done enough damage for one day. We screwed up Ross's audience enough. So
they did that enough. They did that enough on their own.
Yeah. So thank you to Yerg's Radio, Rainbow Radio. We appreciate you for allowing us to entertain your ears and tickle them. Everybody have a great afternoon. We will be back tonight at 9, where Cheyenne and I have a special co-host, Miss Casey. Make sure to tune that in. Tune in.
No.
Subscribe, like, follow, share, subscribe. Yes. And I'm there for it. He's singing starting his own rodeo.
Singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long.
I'm trying to picture her in chaps. Good Lord. Good Lord. I need to go on a Google search. We will see everybody tonight at 9:00. Make sure to check us out. Everybody, please hit that thumbs up button. It gets our stupid little dorky show spread around the interwebs and tune in.
Like, follow, share, subscribe.
Right.
All the buttons.
We get to 1,000. Who knows what Cheyenne will come on wearing?
Or not.
Maybe. Let's see. What face is going to make you miss this?